let's talk about some HBCUs. How about that's what the show is about? Let's do that. So I'm going to ask each of you a question. I'm going to ask Phylicia to talk about Xavier. I'm going to ask Denise to talk about Howard, and Makisha to talk about Clark. I'm going to ask you what makes those schools distinct. What makes them different? Makisha, what makes Clark Atlanta University a distinct institution unto itself?
I would say, well, of course, I'm going to speak very highly of the department that I teach in mass media arts. We have multiple Emmy-winning journalists that graduated from that department. We're always in competition with Howard in terms of communication, because when you look in the television and film industry, Howard and Clark Atlanta, those are most where people of color people of color are employed when they're working in television and film. So we're very creative. We have award-winning graduates on radio, television, film, theater. So we're very creative. And most of our names are in headlines. So I would say that's what. And we were.
Okay, Howard University. Clark just threw down the gauntlet.
I know, right? Listen, I want to say that
come on, Denise, come on through here.
There's so many things that make Howard distinctive and unique, and I'll start with the diversity of the student population. I mean, not only our students come from the United States, all 50 states, but our international student population really adds a lot to when you encounter someone who's from the continent or from the Caribbean or the West Indies. You know, it really changes you. And again, I'm originally from Nebraska. So going to Howard undergrad and now also being a faculty member there, just running into those students and teaching those students and interacting with them have changed me a lot personally. Additionally, our student graduates are, top notch, really around the globe. You really, when you say any TV show that's coming on, it has Black people in the show, either behind the scenes, directing from editing to on camera in front of the screen, from the writing side, theater, from Broadway to from starting regional theaters in Chicago and in Atlanta and etc. We are really world renowned. And then lastly, our alumni network. It is vast, it is deep, and we bleed blue. We go hard for each other. That's really
Clark Atlanta University. Howard's coming for you. All right, Xavier. Xavier, you see how Howard and Clark are representing. What is it about Xavier University that makes it a creme de la creme?
Well, despite Howard being world renowned, Xavier still, 3,000 students still beat them in placing African Americans into medical school. So,
bam!
With that, and I love HU, clearly, because I went there, but that's still pretty impressive for a very small school. And it's the only historically Black college that's Catholic. So those nuns were not playing around with those students. They definitely kept us in line, kept us in check. We had curfews, like they weren't playing around with us. And so despite New Orleans being a very wild, very fun city, very party-going city, we definitely were kept in line at that Catholic school. And also we partied, we went hard, but we also got really ahead of most of all the colleges in America in getting it.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask each of you a follow-up question, because in this round you gave me the this is what we, all right, which is great, by the way, because I'm all about that. My subsequent question is a little deeper, and I'm asking now about the spirit of the school, right? Because each school has a sensibility, a spirit, a way of viewing the world and being in the world. For example, if you go to Morehouse College, you already know that you are expected to change the world. Like, if you don't do it, you're a failure. Because Morehouse has this emphasis on leadership. That's its fundamental sensibility. As you think about Clark, as you think about Howard, as you think about Xavier, and Phylicia, you can talk about Howard too, because you went to both. Yeah. What is the spirit of these schools that makes them, here it is, that makes them different than Princeton, different than Harvard or Yale, or different than American University or Georgetown University. If you go to Howard, here's what you'll get that you can't get if you had gone to Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, and Yale. What's the answer to that question? Makisha, you go first.
I would say family. Clark Atlanta has a very strong root in family. So when you go to the school, you automatically gain extra cousins, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas. So I would say Clark Atlanta raised me after, I graduated from high school, but I would say we have a very strong sense of family on the campus.
Mm-hmm. Denise.
So at Howard.
What is it that you get that you can't get anywhere else at Howard?
So there are two things. One is that your sense of your personal mission is really paramount to what you do in your academic endeavors. Like, we want our students to really be mission anchored, mission oriented. So in some ways, your personal mission means more than your major, but we really want it to be integrated into the major. And that connects also to both a sense of service and social activism. So that, you are to, serve other people using your skills, and your talents and your academic advancement. In what way can you go out there and make a significant imprint on the planet through how you serve other people and other causes that you care about? So I think that's really an anchoring sensibility inside the entire, not just the students, but even faculty. It really is part of our philosophy.
So Phylicia, before you go, Holly, my director, I want you to put the camera on Phylicia, because if I don't close the shade, I'm gonna go blind with the sun. So I ask you a question, and while you answer this question, I'm gonna go close this shade. So Phylicia, what is it about Xavier that makes the education you get there unique in such a way that if you went anywhere else in the world, you couldn't get that?
Yes. So Xavier, especially with all of their STEM majors, it's a kind of going off of what Makisha said as well. There's a sense of family, but there's also a push for everyone's excellence. Just like the nuns I said already, they really held us to a higher regard than I felt like most colleges would have put to most students. We were held to a very high standard there. The sense of that you will be excellent. You will come out and be above other people, other institutions, based on the rigor that you went through at this institution. So I think there's excellence. There's a lot of camaraderie. There was more than enough assistance at the institution, extra programs, and I didn't know any predominantly white institutions even had, for them to help us and push us to be excellent graduates by the time we finished there. Like, I felt like my classes at Xavier, which is quite ridiculous, were harder there in college than when I got to medical school, because I was pushed so hard in the classes.
Wow, that's powerful.